if you are stuck not because you are broken, but because you are pursuing an outdated vision of your creativity? What if the vision is old and you don't know it? Ugh. For example, when you were younger, you used to have a crush on a very specific type of person. By God's grace, you outgrew that because you would be doomed if you were stuck pursuing your romantic partnerships with the same idea that you had when you were like in middle school. So my question is, has the high vision of your creativity matured at all? I'm not talking about what's on your little manifestation list. I'm talking about the spiritual side of your creativity. What does the art itself want to do? Why has it selected you? Has that stuff been clarified over the years? Or is it more or less the same as it was when you were 12? Many of us are still pursuing our art with the same degree of courage, with the same inspiration sources, same level of tenacity, the same appreciation of risk and failure, etc., as we did when we were first told that we were creative, when our talents were first validated back in middle school, back in high school. Someone told you that you're a writer, that you're a good singer, etc. But 20 years later, here you are. And if I forced you to answer the question, what do you want as an artist? You might struggle with the answer, or maybe you would just say something like, I want to sing. Brother, what is that? I want to be famous. Nothing wrong with that, but I want to talk about what these ancient sources reveal about this kind of a thing. All this change in your life, you've been to funerals, you've seen global pandemics, you've seen wars, you've learned things, you've been changed, you've become a parent, etc. And yet here you are still thinking about art in the way that you did when you were a child. What could go wrong? No wonder you're blocked. Or even worse, maybe you do feel the changes, but you haven't gone out of your way to put it in language. I doubt that you've written it down. My point is that you are not blocked. You are ambivalent. You are liminal. Meaning you are no longer who you used to be, and you are not yet on board with who you are becoming. What the art itself is demanding of its guardian, which is you. You have been given a seed of a vision more mature than you, and you're being asked to grow into it. That is the responsibility of every artist. At some point, you do have to surrender. This is what the ancient sources mean by humility. And frankly, I think it's a little arrogant to go on claiming that you are doomed, that you are blocked, that you are broken. The reality is likely that you need to turn a corner, that you need to mature. The other side of that is that is the grace. That is the grace that is built into the creative process. The grace is that you get to go on walking, that you must continue walking on your creative journey. You get to discover it as you go. What is not negotiable is accepting a sense of responsibility, and a responsibility to a higher vision of your art, certainly higher than the one that was planted in you when you were a child. There's clues back there, but has it matured out of simply wanting to be validated? Are you using your talents to validate yourself, or instead have you committed to a path of using your talents to validate other people? Once you've done that, are you very clear on exactly what art is asking of you? So I want to give you some reference points to this ancient wisdom, and I'm giving a workshop on this week if you're interested. I'll give you some details about the workshop at the end that you can just screenshot, but for now I just want to say a few more things. Liminality is a spiritual term that must be understood in relationship to your creativity and your creative journey. I always say this on my platform, that creativity is a spiritual endeavor. Liminality is a spiritual term pointing to the profound disorientation, the profound destructive middle stage along any rite of passage. Liminality is when the right participants are, like I said before, they are not who they used to be, and they are not yet who they are becoming. They're somewhere in the middle. Let's talk about what that liminal season feels like. When you are liminal, you do not know who you are. At the same time, you are longing for who you are more than you ever have, and you have no idea how to get it. And it's awful. The feeling is awful, but what is that awful feeling really? From the spiritual perspective, that ache is your God-tier courage raging against a wildly untempered, unchecked fear with no clear path forward. Said another way, there is courage there for you, but you only recognize the conflict and the rottenness of the outgoing story. When we are liminal, we often resort to old ways, and we double down on them. We use grit, muscle, effort to get us out of our own way, and it doesn't work. And it's heartbreaking to really assess truthfully that all of your old methods, all of your tried and trues no longer work. It's a good time to introduce myself. My name is Vanessa. I am an opera singer and a writer. I survey art, culture, world religion, philosophy, mysticism, everything for wisdom about the creative process and how to grow old with your art, how to be engaged in your art like an adult. Joseph Campbell talks about this in his book, A Hero with a Thousand Faces. Nietzsche calls this person the cosmic traveler. Liminality is not just normal, it is inevitable. It is an essential waypost in your creative coming of age. Back in the day, we used to see a young person demonstrating a particular type of angst, and we used to know that that person was ready. The elders saw that and said, that young person is ready for a rite of passage. We don't do that anymore. You're on your own, or so you think. This liminality is a call to adventure. Adventure means moving forward without knowing how it ends. And adventure means you follow impulses, intuition. The old guides fail you. There is no map because you are the map. You contain the map, but you have not accepted the responsibility. Critical feature of someone who is beginning their adventure is that they do not understand the supernatural nature of the world. They do not understand the supernatural nature of their gifts. You need to think about your art, your creativity, your gifts, your assignment, your time on this planet, the talents that you've been given as supernatural, something that is intelligently designed by the architect of the cosmos, who I might add is called the creator in every single tradition. Everybody refers to their God as the creator, and here you are creative. There is a rite of passage that every person goes through. They must accept themselves as part of the fabric of creation, an instrument of creation itself. And your talent is a technology of creation. Art is whatever makes the intelligence, the grace, and the unconditional love of that intelligence accessible to other people. That is your mission. The remedy for the liminal stage is having the courage to be experimental and having the courage to be responsible to your gifts in this supernatural way. And if you are liminal, I understand. I know that it's awful. It's a rotten feeling. But please remember that you're allowed to ask for help.